Welcome back to Talk Horror to Me, the only movie review podcast that knows better than go door to door or eat pie. Before we bring in Carly and our heartbroken Brooke, let's see what we're looking at tonight. Tonight we review Heretic. Heretic is a 2024 American horror film written and directed by Scott Beck and Bryan Woods. It stars Sophie Thatcher, Chloe East, and Hugh Grant. Heretic premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival on September 8th and was released in the United States by A24 on November 8th. In Heretic, two young missionaries become ensnared in a deadly game of cat and mouse when they knock on the door of the diabolical mystery. Trapped in his home, they must turn to their faith if they want to make it out alive. Back. Hey everybody, sorry we've been gone for a bit.
Hello.
We've all been a little under the weather. So finally we are back with you live. Hey Brooke, hey Carly.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
Just to let you guys know, internet is acting up again.
Oh yeah, mine is too.
Mine is not, so I'm gonna run this thing solo, baby. Don't even worry about it.
All right.
I mean, I've only watched this film 3 times, but who picked this film and why?
I did. I picked it because it really was a plot twist that really grasped my attention. But I want to know what you thought about it, Chuck, since you watched it 3 times.
I mean, there was so much time between the selection of the film and us coming here tonight. One, thank you for letting me watch it through your, private services. It was, for me, it was timeless. It was intimate. And by intimate, I mean, it's claustrophobic. Just 3 people are in this movie, basically. There's some couple characters after and around, but it's like these 3 people, and like it's all dialogue, and it's still tension filled, and like the acting and the nuance and just the unspoken reactions and the subject matter, I thought just riveting for me. I loved it. I love like every piece of it. But Carly, how about you?
Yes. Well, I only watched it once, and the plot twist had me like, what? So, I was a little sad that I didn't really have time to watch it again. But it was riveting. The acting was phenomenal. I was on the edge of my seat. Well, not literally, because I was in the chair, but I was like really, paying attention, going, oh my God, oh my God. And the whole ideation, is that the word? Or iteration? One of the two.
Iterations.
Yeah. Iterations. I was like, oh my God, they're right. They're right. That just it made me think a lot, and kind of, I would lean on the side of disbelief myself, but that really had me very sucked into the movie.
Yeah.
Nothing took me out of it.
Nope. What about you, Brooke?
I like how mystery makes them question their Christianity. Like how he played mind games, and in the end she figured out what he was doing. It was control. That's what it was. So I like that he was playing mind games with them. That's what grasped my attention.
And so with that being said, first of all, we have to do a correction because it wasn't her Christianity, it was her Mormonism.
Oh yeah, Mormon.
So I was fascinated by the comparisons between the Landowners Game and Monopoly and Bob Ross's Monopoly and the books of the Christianity and Judaism and Islam, and obviously Mormonism. It was fascinating for me, just them talking in the, I guess it would be the living room, when they're sitting there with the candle and the soda pops. Just in the way he comes across, Hugh Grant. I mean, this is perfect for him because he comes across as harmless and inquisitive, but yet, man, every time. That's why when I went back to watch it again, you could just see like, ooh, you're so disarmed by how charming this older guy is. And then you can see why they'd be like, yeah, all right, we might just wrap this up. He's starting to get a little creepy, but not. And like, we'll just keep going. And it's just like, oh, amazing. And then like every time he would do something, like the belief and disbelief, the two doors. I'm not giving too much away. But if you notice, neither door led outside.
Right.
They both led down to the same place, which I wanted to make sure that, like, when I watched them go to the belief door, when you flip it around and they enter the basement or wherever that cellar was, there's 2 entry points. They would have got there anyway, no matter whether they believed or disbelieved. Right. So it's almost as if how they felt about anything was of no consequence because it was all about what he wanted. Look, Bruce, like,
what about that like that model of his house, and he was wheeling the people, and that was just creepy. And then I don't want to spoil it.
Well, I was interested as like why he was carving the one figure, and he puts it at the front door.
Yes,
which I think is an homage to the fact that he had done this so many times that he understood human nature to know what was going to happen. That's why he's like, oh, I better carve this thing because I know I'm so smart. I know what's going to happen next. I can predict everybody's motivations or actions, which is, again, very creepy. But the fact that it kept coming true was even more creepy, that he was like prognosticating what people were going to do and writing it all down. And I felt like those two girls
I wasn't expecting. Between the two girls, I was not expecting the way that went. At all.
I think that might have been purposeful because it was more shocking the way it went down. But and I mean, everything had a purpose. You see a board with 3 nails fall down. Pay attention. Oh yeah, that was one of those things where we wouldn't have done a long shot focused on it for 3 seconds unless it wasn't going to happen. The problem is, like, most of us were so riveted by the rest of the story and like, why are they pulling those matches? Is nobody going to see that rug the way it is? And so a lot of it was like there's a lot of effort focused elsewhere to get us to forget about the thing from the past. So So I love that. I loved it. But since I love that, let's talk about this, which is our favorites. So, Brooke, why don't you tell us what was your favorite part?
My favorite part is when she figured it out all at the end, when she was like, oh, because she was controlling the whole situation the whole time. So she walked him through what he was doing, like how he had the one lady switch out with the dead lady and all that stuff, like how she was walking it through the process.
Yes, Brooke is giving spoilers away, so pay no attention to her. She's misdirected. And how about you, Carly? What was your favorite moment?
Oh man, when the person came back to life, and all the word like there were clouds and it wasn't real. I was like, oh shit.
Hey, I mean, I can make a case for half of this movie not even being real.
True.
I mean, we don't even know if the ending's real. I'm going to leave that there. I don't want to talk about it, but there is a case to be made that the ending is not really the ending that we think it is. I'm just saying. That's why I watched it 3 times, Brooke.
What? No.
you got to go to your subreddit conspiracy boards to find out what is really true. Because
okay.
that just means that the filmmakers controlled us, the audience, into believing what is true or not true. So the filmmakers, what I love about this film is that the filmmakers and the writers and how it was shot was done in such a way that even we are being controlled into believing something that may or may not be true. So while we think we're pretty smart and we understood what the candle meant, and we're like, oh no, and we're kind of in on the thing, we know what's happening, and that these hapless girls are now the only ones who don't know what's happening. But we, the audience, are so smart, we know what they're going through. Yeah, you might realize that we, the audience, are just as stupid and in the dark as everybody else.
Hey.
So, I'm just saying that we were gullible and we got sucked into something that may or may not be true. So that was my favorite part, is just the structure of it all.
Yeah, I was thinking, oh God, it is supernatural and well, no.
So
we know that
Shirley.
Was those girls that was locked in the cages, were they Mormons too? Like
I don't know. I did try to do some research on who they were, but I believe that Mr. Reed has done this many, many times before.
And nobody
well, I don't think they were all Mormons. I don't think they were all missionaries, trying to convert investigators. I think that he had done this many times in different ways, because he did say that they wanted to be in the cages. They didn't want to be saved or helped.
What?
That's what he tells her. So they're content because he is fully in control of their belief. What they're doing, other than the one girl going off script, most of them we're happy to, have a meal, a pie, or state the script as written. So yeah, he had a lot of control over these women in a lot of different ways. I'm very concerned about the house. I always get sidetracked by the details of, like, how did this house get made? Because I don't understand that big chamber that they're in, why it's there, why there seems to be so much underground tunneling going on. But he was saying, Mr. Reed was saying, that his wife built that room, meaning the room with all the pews and the the pulpit and the books and the little so there's something like there was something that was like, oh, my wife built it. So I don't know if he's just BSing us still, or if his wife had some weird thing going on too. I don't know. So I thought that was like, ooh, I want to know more about the wife and what she was all about. So
maybe she was one of them.
Oh, that wouldn't it be crazy if she was like in a cage? Oh.
Yes,
that'd be amazing. Okay, well, what about pros and cons, Carly?
Okay, the pros is the cast and the storyline. I got to give 2 pros: the cast and the storyline. Is that it all meshed so well together. The cons. Well, you really have to pay attention. So make sure you're paying attention when you watch the movie. That's not really a con. It's just
advice.
Observation.
Yeah. And I would say I agree with you. I agree with I think the structure was amazing. I love films that aren't what you think they are. And all through the film, we're thinking, but we think we know, and then the next thing happens, and we think we know that, and then we're still wrong. And like, how do these girls escape? But there's something about like a house that's locked you in, like The Collector, for instance. Any kind of movie that like you are basically trapped in a location with a madman or whoever it might be. Those films really get to me because there's like, not only do you have to like best the villain, you have to get out of the place you're in. And it really seemed like there was no escape for either of these girls. So that kind of like that subgenre of horror I love. I I think Hugh Grant, I never would have expected him to do well in this type of film, but I think he just skirted that line of charisma and craziness that was perfect. If there's one con, and this is a thing that is also a pro, is that do we believe the ending as is for face value, or are we all been duped? So it's awesome that they did it. That made me think what is true. But the other con was, how did he get all those girls caged up? I mean, I wish there would have been one line to just infer that he had been doing this for years. And I think that would have satisfied, not the how, but just the fact that he was able to. I mean, he talked about it, but he didn't really give me enough, like, really? You've been doing this in this house for that many years and nobody knew that all these women are going missing? So, yeah, in that way, I was like, that seems a little far-fetched versus the rest of the story. But otherwise, yeah, that would be my only con. Miss Wright?
I like it that it had me question my beliefs. And it had me like with the mind games. I like that part. Like he was playing with their mind and control and stuff like that. I like that part. The con, I would say I would like a little bit of a backstory. I guess that they could like make a second one to where it tells how he got those women down there. So how it ended, it could tell, like they could make a second one and tell his side of the story, like his life.
In the first, and in a prequel sequel, they would see. I'm thinking, it's like, well, how did you get the first one?
Yeah,
You'd have to get a first one, and that first one wouldn't be a prophet. So his whole story would have to be different as to how he gets the people in. So yeah, I would actually love to see a sequel prequel that would like outline a younger Hugh Grant-esque actor. And maybe the wife is included. Maybe the wife is in on it, and she's like luring in unsuspecting girls because she's a little girl, and I'm not threatening. I mean, that'd be cool too.
Huh. Yeah.
I think we should get right.
Yeah,
Brooke, I know you're busy, but can you please get on that and just start doing your script? So, with that said, Brooke said we're getting almost to the reading part of our show. Give us like one big reason why people should go see this film, and to run that walk to their next movie.
I feel like this movie will really make you think. You probably have to watch it 2 or 3 times to understand what he's doing. But yeah, I like it that he makes you think about things, because I was definitely thinking about my Christianity.
Oh boy. What's another film you would equate this to that somebody else may have seen? Because I can't think, and that's the thing, I can't think of another film that this is like
Yeah,
because it seems to be very much a very original script. Yeah. So if you want something interesting and cool, I definitely would say go see it. So while we're talking about going to see it in your streaming service, let's talk about how we're going to rate this. So Brooke, as you know, you get full carte blanche on who to ask to do a rating.
Okay, I'm going to ask Carly.
Yay, Carly!
All right, yay! Woo! Okay, I'm going to give it a solid 4.5 chopped off fingertips.
Oh,
That's not cool, man. That's not cool.
man.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Oh wow! It's funny. It's funny you mention that, because I have been recommending this film to everybody I've talked to in all the weeks that we haven't been able to have this show. And one person's partner was like, "Oh, why did you let him pick this movie for us? Because it's so gory." And I'm like, "Gory?
Is it?"
I was like, "Yeah, barely see the finger get cut."
Yeah,
And I'm like,
you see
really? It's
that
like,
in the
other
book.
than throwing up some blueberry pie, I was like, really? Your love of goriness, maybe you should just not watch horror at all. Because this is really, to me, more of a thriller
It wasn't
than it
really gory
was.
at all.
No. I mean, the scariest thing was the spider coming out of the pipe.
Yeah.
But anyway, my rating, I had so many when I watched it, and now I've forgotten because we haven't seen each other in so long. But I will give this, I'm giving it a full 5. Other than some of the misdirects, some of the fact that like I want to know more for sure, for certainty. Other than that, and that's just a me thing. Again, I've watched it 3 times in like 4 weeks, so I am definitely going to give this a 5. I will give it 5 Bob Ross edition Monopoly games because I think that was probably the best one.
Okay,
And you
I'm gonna rate it a 5. Locks behind the, what was that? Behind the light switch. How he opened it up and unlocked the door, and
Yes.
then turned the key.
Ooh, the
Like that was neat.
timer.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
neat. And he was like, "It won't unlock until in the morning." I'm like,
that whole section of dialogue. He's like, "Oh yeah, I can see how that might sound." He's like, "But no, they're automatically." It's like, "Wait, what? Why would you?" And I love the response to the question. It's like, "Why would you design it that you couldn't unlock it?" And but yet they were still so cowed into believing that he didn't. Well, I mean, I think they were starting to get the fact that they were screwed, but they were, I don't know, for some reason they still thought they were going to get out of the house like a lot sooner than they did. And I'm just like, and I think that's just testament to Hugh Grant being so affable and, non-threatening and interested. I remember he was super, super interested in what they were selling until he decided he wanted to sell them an idea.
Yes.
So, so good. So I don't know what else to say. I mean, other than having all these deities born on December 25th and the fact that, Osiris had 12 disciples and the one deity was a carpenter and born of a virgin. I mean, I don't know, Brooke, why that would shake your faith at all.
Yeah, it had me question. I'm like, wait a minute, does he have a point? But
well, I do think we can all agree that there are some things from Christianity and or Catholicism that borrowed a lot of dates and times and things from pagan religions or pagan beliefs to try to get converts. So I don't believe Jesus was born on the 25th of December. I mean, if calendars were that good, I'm very surprised that someone's like, got their little chisel going. Jesus H. Christ born December, and he's just tapping away with a chisel. So yeah, I think a lot of it, the iterations, like you said, Carl, at the beginning, the iterations, even the Hollies, the air that I breathe, even them playing that song was creepy as hell.
And then Creep, my favorite song by Radiohead.
Yeah,
but that was just an iteration, Brooke. Just a rip off of the Hollies.
Yeah. And then Lana Del Rey, how she got sued by Radiohead. Wow.
But how can you sue somebody who's already tried to sue somebody else and lost? Right. I don't know how that next person could then sue them for like, hey, that's my song. I say, no, it really wasn't. You lost against the Hollies. I don't know what's happening here. It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, the question is how true is the script? That was my thing. I really didn't want to do research on whether Radiohead got sued, whether Lana Del Rey sued Radiohead, or if all these things actually occurred. But I do know that you can hear a lot of songs and a lot of different songs that came before it.
Yeah.
And I think that Hugh Grant was right. Not many of us, only a small percentage, have actually finished Monopoly.
That's true.
Like
billions
that played it, and
you end up getting mad. Like, I only have $10 left.
Yeah, I don't like this game. That game was way too long. That's why I played the game of life.
It was way too long.
Yeah.
Well, with that, we're going to move
Get the
from
Bob Ross
this.
version.
We should. I mean, they're happy accidents. I mean, it must be a much better game.
Yes.
But Carly, I know you had a lot of, you spoke to me, you spoke to Brooke. I didn't have the information. Obviously, Brooke had it written down in a safe somewhere. So what is our next film?
Our next film is The Deliverance on Netflix. Not to be confused with Deliverance. No banjos.
No banjos, no Burt Reynolds. Okay.
No, it's got Glenn Close. And I'm really looking forward to seeing, what Glenn Close is going to bring.
And do we know what is this another? It seems like for some reason I'm feeling like this is another demon exorcist movie. What's the basic?
Yeah,
it is. Okay. All right.
That's
and
what
it's a true story.
Understood without, because I don't want to read ahead and have the movie spoiled for me.
Got it.
Yeah, it does have to do with like demons and possession and the deliverance.
The deliverance from evil. Why do you know what? This does seem like a movie I've actually seen. I'll have to.
I guess.
And it's on Netflix. Is that what I'm hearing? It's on Netflix.
Yes, it's on Netflix.
Okay. All right. Well, we know that Carly loves a good demon movie. And I like a nice trapped in a house movie. So Carly's got a little bit of bandwidth happening, so we will leave her to it. So Brooke, one more chance.
Oh yeah, I'm having a lot of trouble.
I know. We're sorry. So Brooke, one more chance for you to appease the masses and appeal to the masses, like to watch this film. Give it your final wrap up before we go.
Okay, I'm just going to say one thing, but Hugh Grant did amazing. He did amazing. Usually he's in comedy movies, but this one, he was creepy. He was definitely creepy.
Yes. He actually was more creepy, so much more creepy than expected. Yeah. So much more creepy.
He's scary.
And it's like all the best ways. And he was always so like
going to make me go back and watch.
Yeah. He was just smiling.
Yeah, go back and watch Love Actually and be like, he's evil.
How about Notting Hill? You could just go back and watch him in Notting Hill.
Or 2 weeks notice.
Yeah, go back and watch all the rom-coms just so you can see like how this is not what you expected. So, but with that, Brooke, thank you for coming back and being back, and we are appreciative that your health is better and you're getting back on your feet. And we just for everybody listening and watching, Brooke had a little bit of a scare, and we were scared for her, but we're glad she's back. And for Carly, we love you as well. What? And I'm just tired. I'm just old and tired. So I'm just saying. But I do love our time together. I love our horror, sharing horror with you and sharing horror with all our people. Because, I think it's horror that brings us together.
Yeah.
I think, right? I think so.
As people who scare together stay together?
That's what
I don't know.
I think you're absolutely right. I'm gonna get a t-shirt made of that.
Okay.
So with that, big loves. Yeah, there it goes. I don't know. I'm gonna turn it around. I got nothing. All right, love you, Carly. I'm gonna let you go before your internet drops out completely. So bye to you. Bye, Brooke. Love you. Stay well. And to our audience, thank you so much for joining us again for another episode of Talk Horror to Us. And remember, or Talk Horror to Me, actually. And remember, we are always here to scare you later.